You found the Live Local Marketing Podcast, where business owners share their knowledge about what's working in the market today. No fluff, just their experiences and stories from people who are making it happen. And if authentic, practical marketing resonates with you, be sure to visit livelocalwarmmarketing.com and learn to grow your business on warm marketing referrals. Now, on to the show. Welcome. Thanks for joining us for the Live Local Marketing Podcast. And today we're with Liz. Ma'am, how do we feel today?
I feel awesome because, new day.
New day? That's great. That is great. And you're New York, so it's a little chilly here today, but it's fine. We'll be all right.
Yep. I got my little heater going, so I think I'm good.
We're all good. Cool. We'll give you a little introduction. We'll talk about you a little bit and then get right to the questions.
Great.
So Liz is a business coach who got her entrepreneurial start growing up on a sheep farm in Western PA. Later, she moved to New York City to get away from farming life as much as possible. It's very relatable. She started her business with her husband 25 years ago and coaches individuals to get unstuck so they can launch and grow an abundant business. And she also plays the ukulele, which we don't think you have a ukulele now, but that's all right. We'll let it pass this time. Next time you got to bring the ukulele.
Not very far away, just in case.
Just in case I get boring and you're like, let's put a little song to this. Let's just do this.
I've done it.
All right, ma'am, are we ready for the questions?
Yes, let's go for it.
All right. As an entrepreneur, what would you consider to be your first win?
So you mentioned sheep farming, and what is not really in there too much is the part where my mother, out of necessity, had to make us, we were entrepreneurs. We sold a lot of products on the farm, sheep and wool. So yes, we sold the lamb, but we also spun the wool and we made products that we provided at lots of festivals and things. And I very much specifically remember one festival we went to where there were a lot of people there. A lot of these festivals, you stand around waiting for people to come to you. Yeah. But this one was a festival where there were just a lot of foot traffic and we made a lot of sales. And so we were hustling a little bit, And I remember we had a cash box because everybody did everything cash back then. There was none of this credit card stuff. And so we came home and we had this cash box and we opened it up and it was like money just flowed out of it. Like just came out of it.
It's cool.
And it was one of the most vivid experiences I have about creating abundance, about how you can make something physically with your hands or create something and people will give you money for it. Lots of money. And I will never forget like we would dig, we were counting it and there'd be like, another 20, it was like, so I always remember that as one of my first experiences of winning as an entrepreneur, where I really could see the connection between my creativity and people's willingness to pay money for it.
No, that's all. All right. So I'm kind of curious now. How did you divvy this up? So your mom's teaching you the lessons and you had some siblings, it sounds like, that you were sharing this with. How did you divvy it up?
Oh, it was all going into the farm fund for sure. I mean, I was probably 12 years old at the most, maybe. My mother had a vision and it included us as little young children spinning wool in colonial outfits. So, and I have a picture of myself. Then we used to get a lot of newspaper coverage as well because it was a little unusual, Yeah. And so, there's a picture of me at like 11 spinning wool in front with this little, colonial outfit on.
Nice.
Hoping none of my school friends would walk by.
Even if they did, you had that cash box to fall back on. You're like, do you guys have a cash box full of it? Like you really had something to fall back. So even if they made fun of you, really,
that's right.
Who had the money? So as an entrepreneur, what would you consider to be your best habit?
Consistency. Consistency is my best habit. So what I mean by that is a lot of times people start very big and they're like, it's first of the year or it's a new month or whatever it is. And they rely a lot on that new motivation of keeping them going. Yes. And then it falls off. We all know the statistics about New Year's resolutions or even any business goals. You don't check in on it. So because of that, the idea of keeping consistent with what it is that you said you were going to do much longer than you feel. Like people stop because they feel like, oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
But it's not working because you haven't done it long enough. And keeping consistent with that. Now, the other thing, it's really a second habit, but along with that is forget about time management. Think about priority management, because everybody has the same amount of time. Although why do some people get so much more done than other people during the same amount of time, right? Why is because they're priority management, not time management. They're not thinking about the scarcity of time. They're thinking about ways to prioritize their tasks. And how do I prioritize my tasks? Fastest path to cash. Which one of those activities is more likely to bring you work, bring you money, bring you clients? And so whatever that activity is, if you do it consistently, you're going to see over time the results begin to build up.
Well, what if that money activity isn't bringing you money yet? How long do you stay consistent with it? Because if you're prioritizing by what's making you the most money, but that's not making you money yet, how does that work then in your priorities?
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to test it, right? Like if you really, let's say you decide, okay, I'm going to do social media and I'm going to make, posts and do my best offer or something. And you spend a lot of effort on that and it's not reaping anything. So you do need to check in periodically. And of course, the number one thing you can do for yourself is to hire a good business coach. And the reason that I say that is because you need perspective from someone else who doesn't have the same who doesn't have the same at stakeness that you do, right? I'm very at stake for my clients, but that at stakeness is for you to do what you think is important. But I'm not the one doing the work, you are. So having that perspective is really helpful to have. But most people give up on stuff a lot sooner than they really should.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So of all the strategies that you're currently doing with your clients, what is your favorite? What is the one you're like, this is really fun, this is really working, you find yourself doing more frequently with clients? Well, a quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing and referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
What's interesting about that is that I've returned back to what I did much more in the beginning of my business, which is networking, one-on-one communication with people. I think that's truly the most effective way to reach a new client or to be creating relationship, because it's all about relationship. And when I started my business 25 years ago, that's what you did. You networked. You literally went to networking events and talked to people. And then we got away with it because pandemic and we're all on Zoom now. And then it's all about social media and we got away from it. But I find social media to be a good way to establish credibility, but not a great way to actually bring in clients. And so what I like to do is really make as many personal touches as I can. And the other thing about that is that following up. So it relates back to what we were just talking about a minute ago about consistency, which is statistics show that people will buy from you after about 8 to 10 touches. Right. And whenever I do a webinar or something and I ask people, how many touches do you do? And they're like 2. And if they don't respond, I give up. Right. And so that same thing, just keep following up, just stay consistent, stick with it longer and do those personal touches.
So I think you and I agree in the sense, I keep telling my people that your content is the new version of a business card, that you hand them out and people follow you, but you really need to find a way to get one-on-one. Am I on the right trail?
Yeah, I had never thought of it that way for sure. The idea being, how do you keep yourself in front of people? I read one somewhere, so it doesn't matter where I read it because I won't remember. But anyway, I read once
That's right.
where he said, continue sending emails because they may not buy from you for the next 10 emails, but the 11th one may be when that moment is when they need to buy. So I have stickers, right? I'll create stickers for some of the events that I do, right? And so I get an email from Sticky Brand a lot. I get a lot of emails, but because I like them and because I know I'm going to order from them again in the future, I don't unsubscribe. When I need stickers, I go, oh, right, Sticky Brand, because they live, no pun intended, stuck in my head because I saw them come through my email enough. So don't assume for other people about whether or not they're ready to buy from you and when.
Gotcha. That's good. That's a great advice. All right. So the next question I have is video marketing. And I'm going to keep this question kind of open-ended because I'm kind of curious to see where you're going to go with this. So when you talk to clients about video marketing and the importance of it, what's that conversation look like for you and your clients?
Well, here's the interesting thing about video marketing is a lot of people don't like to be on video at all.
Yes. Yeah. It's true.
Right. And so number one is you look better than you think you do and you sound better than you think you do. That's number one. Number two, practice. You are not going to get it right in the first time. If anytime I do a video, it's 10 takes at least.
That's true.
It takes a while to get all the words out the way you want and everything. You know, what social media spoils for us is this polished look that people like, oh, even though I'm walking along and I have my phone in front of me and I look, oh, I just did that one. It was so spontaneous.
Yeah, right.
Trust me, it was not spontaneous. That was their 4th, 5th, or 20th take on it.
It was. Yeah.
And I mean, anytime I've tried to do something spontaneous, I've had to do multiple takes. So assume that you're going to need to do multiple takes. Assume that it requires a little bit of editing, a little bit of polishing, and assume that you're better at it than you think you are. But the only way to get better at it is to actually do it, to actually get in there and do it.
So I'm seeing more and more people going to AI and putting their scripts and stuff, letting the AI make a little video of them for them. And I'm very leery of this. Can I tie it back to when you said more one-on-one meetings? And do you agree with my hesitation?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all getting a little more clear about when AI is doing the work and it's not authentic. People think that they have to look better than they really do. And I always remember this woman, it wasn't related to video, but I remember this woman telling me that she was in front of she was doing a speaking gig and she was doing her pitch and she had a cold. And she was like, sniffling and all this stuff. And she said at one point, how every once in a while it'll sort of come out of your nose a little bit. And she was like, there I was at my crucial moment. And I was like, ha! And I laughed and a little bit of snot came out of my mouth. And she was like so mortified. And more people signed up for her pitch than had ever done it before. And this is where we think, it has to look so polished. But actually, people really relate to vulnerability. And that's what we're really looking for right now.
That's excellent. I like that answer. So, all right. So we're shifting gears a little bit. You talked about the one-on-one stuff and the personalizing and working with clients very often. You have to, I'm sure, sit down and talk to them about branding. I'm sure that's part of the conversation. So when you talk to them about branding, how do you pull the brand out of your clients to make the marketing more effective?
So again, I'm going to go back to something that nobody likes to hear, which is everybody says you got to really establish that brand. You have to find that niche. You have to market those people. And I think it took me a good 8 years of trying different things before I landed on, I coach entrepreneurs to get unstuck so they can launch and grow an abundant business. I had to figure out the abundance piece of that. I had to figure out that I mostly want to work with people who start a business or feeling stuck like within their first 3 years. Okay, those are the people that I started to attract. You have to see who you are attracting. You have to practice. You have to go to those networking events and stand in front of people and practice saying words and watching whether their face zones out or if it engages. And if it engages, then you know you're on the right track. So I, all power to any branding coaches, marketing coaches. I know they do really good work. I'm not saying don't do that. I am saying that there's a certain amount of that which is developed over time. Who do I want to serve and what do I want to serve them with? What is, rather than looking out and saying, oh, this is what people tend to be buying. You won't stay consistent. You won't sustain it. And this way you'll allow that brand to develop, and then you can put the colors on it, and then you can get the logo on it, and then you can get your business cards made up.
Sounds like do you ever practice with like your clients with their pitch? Do you ever like sit down with them and say, hey, we need to go over this together. I want to hear this out loud.
Oh, sure. I spend a lot of time with that. This is another thing where people go to AI for, and there's lots, again, that I've gained a lot of value from interacting with ChatGPT. It happens to be the one that I pay for. But it sometimes can come out a little bland. Yeah. It's very generic in its way. I help coach it, whatever it is. So, so using AI for ideas is a good idea, but then you got to put it in front of somebody else, which a coach will help you with. Yeah. Even stay away from family members. I don't love the people, because
they're not hard enough on you.
Yeah. Go find the real people that you might be selling to and see what they think.
Okay. Well, you said the magic word AI, so let's go into that one. What is your favorite use of AI right now?
So I do, as I mentioned, use ChatGPT the most. Sometimes I'll throw a little Claude in there just to see what the comparative answer would be. But I stick with Chat. It does learn about you over time. It's kind of funny because it'll say, because I know that you're a business coach that likes to play the ukulele, And I'm like, those two things.
It does that for everybody. Don't feel special. It says that to everybody.
A fun-loving ukulele business coach like yourself. Okay, that wasn't helpful. So I have a quiz that's on my website, which everyone is invited to take. Yes. That it helps you to establish your CEO personality. So there are 4. There's a expert, an empowerment, a excellence, and enthusiast. Right. So chief enthusiast officer, chief expert officer, etc. That is a really good example. So I knew what the personalities were before I sat down to write the quiz, and I threw it into ChatGPT and I said, give me some ideas for what I can call these people, the different things.
That's cool.
And it threw out chief, empowerment officer or something. And I was like, that's perfect. Now give me one chief CEO for each one. And I remember it being this is a couple of years ago that I published it, but I remember it being a really like aha moment. Like, it's going to help me come up with ideas that I could labor over, or it could just throw a bunch of stuff at me and then you can guide it through. So it came up with those chief empowerment officer things. And and then it does research for you. This is the part that I like the best about ChatGPT. It will do some really good research for you, and help you to take your content and make sense of it.
Do you ever make it cite sources?
I always make it cite sources. Always, because otherwise it'll just make stuff up.
It does. It even makes up some of the sources sometimes. It throws me off. I'm like, that's not real. That's
right. You got to click on the source and go and check to make sure and read the, I will always make it do that.
All right. So before we get to your business and have you do the outro for us, let's talk about confidence. I'm sure you sit down with business owners on a regular basis and the confidence isn't there. Like, they're not sure. They think they have something. How do you have the confidence discussion to help them make that next step in their business?
One of the biggest things you hear from people is imposter syndrome. I don't have enough experience. I don't have the, everybody else has PhDs or MBAs or whatever. I've only just started doing this. It's imposter syndrome. So the very first thing that you need to know is that actually you wouldn't be doing it if you weren't qualified to do it.
Yep.
Like,
that's true.
I am not playing basketball professionally. I'm not qualified to do that. I am not, I could name 1,000 other things. I'm not a curling expert. I'm not going to be in the Olympics. Okay. Even though I would love to be. But people aren't always buying what you're selling because of your 20 years of experience.
That's good. I like that.
The only reason people buy from you is because they think you can solve their problem. Yeah. And the thing about confidence is that if you're focused inwardly to say, can I do this? Can I do this? Then you're not focused on your client or your prospect and finding out what their problems are. And therefore you're just wasting your energy on once you focus outward, you will find that all that stuff goes away. And my friend used to call it the nyet stuff. All the nyet stuff goes away because you're not focused on yourself anymore. You're focused on your potential prospect or your client and how you can best help them. And if you engage with that, you will definitely help them.
That's a great answer. So yeah. All right. We're going to get to the end. So we're going to do, that was thorough. I don't even have any follow-ups. Like that was such a good answer. Like I'm good. I don't even have any follow-up. We have less, but anyway, so now we're going to do the outro. We're going to get to your business. And I know you said there's a quiz on it. I have to take the quiz still. I need to get in there. So there's a quiz on the landing page I saw. And then where can people connect with you?
Yeah. I mean, the best way to go is to lizwolfecoaching.com. And we said we weren't going to say any sheep and wolf jokes, but yes, I did grow up in a sheep farm and my last name is Wolf. But it's Wolf with an E, so lizwolfecoaching.com. And there are resources on there. So the two things that you can immediately do, you can take that quiz, and there's a lot of good content that comes out after that, especially if you're thinking about starting a business or you're feeling stuck. And if you really want to go for it, you can sign up for a free business strategy session with me, just to 45 minutes, and I'll listen to what you're up to and give you some coaching and of course see if we would be a fit to work together. So get on there and at least dive into some of the content that's there.
Awesome. That is wonderful. And if you wanted to learn the ukulele, I'm sure you can help with that too.
I do have a ukulele course. I do have a ukulele course as well. So
it could be both. You get a combined package for all of the entrepreneurs that want also to do ukulele. That's right. Very niche.
That is the nichest market that you're going to find. Business owners that play the ukulele. Yeah.
Ma'am, I appreciate your time and your insights today. You had some wonderful answers that I haven't heard yet, which is really fun. And my audience learns a lot from it. So I appreciate you. And thanks for being on today.
Thank you so much for having me on. This was fun.